Hi, this is Jenny Oya with Nuggets and Things. Today, I want to share something with you about a place sometimes we go. Well, I go. If you don't go, I go. A place that I would go, and no one even knows that I'm in autopilot. I'm just existing, but I'm not living. I know I'm in autopilot. How when a pilot puts the autopilot on, he can sit back, he can go to the restroom, he can go and drink some coffee, whatever, while the plane is driving itself. It just knows to keep going. You set the directions how it's supposed to go, and it does that. And sometimes we're in an autopilot, stage, a mode in which we know we could, or maybe sometimes should be hollering, Mayday, Mayday, somebody help me. But who do you call to? Who do you cry out to? Who do you say, help me? Because too, you don't want to alarm somebody that that you're having difficulties, that you're having a problem adjusting to something. It could be a loss. You just lost somebody. But people are expecting you to move forward, to act a certain way, to continue on with your life, so to speak. Something could happen drastically in your life. Anything could, shake you and push you onto the side where you're like, you know, I need to adjust to this. But instead of adjusting to it and taking out the time to move away from the crowd, right? You can't call into work and say, look, I'm having a day that I need to adjust myself. I'm having a rough moment. Something just happened. Something just triggered me, whatever it may be. So I need to take this time off. You can't do that. So they're expecting you to go to work. They're expecting you to continue, to do what you're doing in the home, whatever it is, you're still expected to, do what you're supposed to be doing, right? I remember times in my life, I got children in the house, you got to cook for them, wash clothes, clean up, set out their clothes, whatever. I mean, your day does not stop because you're having a rough time. You could have had a serious breakup, and you want to just cry your eyes out because, you just been dumped, or you might have to dump somebody. But it's still an adjustment you're trying to do. But you don't have time because the world keeps on turning. Life keeps on going, and you're still in demand to do what you are expected to do. So, what do? Sometimes you just go on autopilot. You just do what you're doing. It's like a robot. I get up in the morning, I do this, I do that, I do this, I do that. And sometimes you might get a 10-minute break in between that before it's time to go to work. Everybody's finally out of your sight. Nobody is watching you, so you can be able, to do your breakdown moment, because you may have to break down. You might just need to, I call it my woo-saw moment. And so those times when they hit you, and they do hit us, I know they hit me. They hit me. And when they hit me, I can't pick up the phone and call somebody who I really want to call and say, hey, I want to talk to you for a second. Because they're expecting me to be the strong one. They're expecting me to be the rock. I got to be the rock for everybody. But I'm not, this rock sometimes in quicksand. This rock sometimes, is like, you're asking me to swim out there in the Atlantic Ocean and pull you out. And here I am, beating water myself, trying to stay afloat. And sometimes people are expecting us to be their superheroes, sheroes, to make sure everybody is okay. And yet you yourself is saying, what about me? How about me? You need to go on autopilot. I said, sometimes you work it off of fumes. You out of gas. You ain't got enough to sustain you for tomorrow. And you're just, if I could just get through the day, if I could just get through the day, if I could just hang in there for the day, tomorrow's got to be better. That's how your mind got to think. If I could just get through the day, tomorrow's got to be better. And while you're doing that, you're sustaining yourself. You're holding tight. Woo-wee, on the wings of an eagle. On the wings of one. Because you don't have the wings. But you're resting on those wings. You know, somebody, somewhere is holding you up. Somebody, somewhere is lifting you up. Somebody, somewhere is praying you up. Somebody, somewhere is sending your name up. You may not see it. They may not even tell you. But you got to trust it. That the reason why you're still sustaining, the reason why you own them films and you should have been out, somebody somewhere got you. And that's a good thing, because there are times when we have taken all we can take. We have done all we know how to do. And let me tell you something. Nobody will stop for you. The world does not pause because you are going through. It's like, you're in the ring. I tell them all the time, I'm in the ring, right? My job is to go in there and do my thing. Hit, stick and move, boom, boom. All that. You know what you've been trained to do. You know this. You know exactly what you're supposed to be doing. But your opponent is beating the purity poop out of you. They putting a spanking on your tail. And you're like, whew, and they say, okay, bang, that bell goes off. You're so happy for the bell. No, go to your corner. You're like, good gracious. It took a long time for that bell to go off. You're thinking to yourself, You're looking at, your help, to your right, to your left, my help, and you're thinking that, don't y'all see me taking these beatings? I understand we in here to win it. I know y'all want me to put the belt on when it's over. I know there's some money I'm supposed to be receiving. I know there's a reward for me if I can beat this daggone opponent. But I'm telling you, my opposition is rough. My opposition is whipping my tail. And I'm getting these body blows. Can't touch the grill. But I'm getting these body blows, they hitting me hard. I'm bending over. I'm falling to the ropes. Y'all see me? Y'all see me? Y'all get on out there. You could do it, champ. You could do it. You know how you got them little cheerleaders in your corner. You got this. You got this. You can do it. Oh, I know you got it. Because sometimes there are people outside got more faith in you than you got in yourself. They know you can do it when you say, look, after this, I'm done. And they said, oh no, you got a whole lot more. You got a whole lot more. So you're looking at them saying, if y'all want to, you could throw in a towel. A towel? We didn't even bring no towel. You got this. Go, go, go. But from the very inside of you, I'm about out of gas. If they hit me one more time, they're knocking on my lungs, popping my middle, give me some low blows too. I'm barely making this thing. See, it's easy for y'all to cheer because you ain't taking the blows. All you got to do is, pat me down there once in a while. You're all right. You can do it. Go, 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 go. Give me a drink of water, soup, it's fine because you got that part. But I'm the one who's inside the ring. I'm the one who's dealing with my opposition. I'm the one who's got to fight off all this stuff that's coming and attacking me. That's me. And I know that I can't take too much more of this. It's like, ooh. Now, you be thinking too. You know how you can look at somebody and know that something ain't right. And you say, hey, sis, how you doing? Let me talk to y'all brothers. Some of y'all watching me too. Yo, bro, what's going on? Hey, everything's good. All right, you looking like kind of tired today. You all right? You need to talk? One of them things. I tell people this. This is something I learned, right? When you ask somebody how they're doing, you cannot ask somebody how they are doing and steady walking at the same time. Because now you have proven to me you don't really want to know how I am doing by walking while you talking. When you ask somebody how they are doing, you must stop You must pause to get their response. Because if you're genuinely asking how they're doing, you need to genuinely act like you're listening. Because sometimes when you ask somebody how they're doing, and if you listen, they'll tell you, "Today's not a really good day. I'm doing all right. I could be doing better." That should make you pause. And I say, "All right, then you take it easy." That means you didn't hear a thing they said. The next time, and I want this to resonate in your heart, the next time you ask somebody how they are doing, make sure you pause to get an answer. Then make sure you listen to that answer. Because you are genuinely, if you ask, don't ask somebody something if you really don't care how they're doing. But if you ask somebody how they're doing, act like you care to hear how they are doing. Because some people will tell you how they're doing. Some say, "Oh, I'm blessed. Highly favored." "Oh, honey, I would be no better if I was a twin." All these are the nice phrases people use, right? But every once in a while, somebody would say, "Whew, it's a rough day today. I'm having a rough day." And when they say that, you need to stop and say, "Hey, what's going on? You want to talk?" Do that. Open up a door. They might not come in, but at least you've opened it. You have allowed them to know that, "Hey, I'm available if you want to talk. I might can't fix the problem. I might don't know how to deal with the situation because I'm not in there with you. But I'm willing to listen. And if I can help, I'm willing to." But you got to take out time for people like that. Because we got people that are around us. You got family members. You got best friends. You got co-workers. You even got yourself. There's operating in autopilot. They just merely existing off of just drops of fumes. They're just about out of gas. They are at a place where they feel like their back is against the wall. They're on the ropes, taking blows, just blows. Boom, boom, boom. They're getting hit left and right, And people outside is, "Hey, yeah, oh, go. You can do it." They cheering because they don't know the blows you're taking. They don't know the things that are coming against you. They don't know the attacks that you have been under, All they know is, "You're looking good out there." Because you know how to dress the part. You know how to walk the part, talk the part. But you also know you should be on Mayday sometimes. Mayday! Somebody help me. Mayday! I need somebody to listen. Mayday! I need somebody to bring me a bucket so I can pour this stuff in because I'm overloaded. There's too much coming into me at one time. And see, sometimes you're too much. You're too much. I'm not saying, somebody else could take it like a champ, but that's them. To each has their own measure of what they can do and how much they can do. But for you, if you know this is at a place where you're working now on films, you're now on autopilot, you know that, then you must be careful on how you move from that point. Because see, now you need to understand on Mayday or on autopilot or in a place now that you're just merely existing and not living, you already know that, there's a possibility there could be a crash ahead. There's a possibility you may be going down. There's a possibility you could have a breakdown. Who knows? But this. It's clear. I'm telling you, we got something on the inside of us. They send these daggone, blinkers. They flash, flash, flash. Mayday, Mayday. They flash. Go ahead and land. They flash. You need to take some more rest. They flash. You need to, do this. Flash. You get those, those indicators, those flashes, those signals, those flags. They're telling you, take out some time. Something is going on. I remember one time I was having headaches. I don't have headaches. I don't get headaches. But I was having these headaches. And I was like, dang, and it wasn't going away. Every day I would get these headaches. I'm like, what's going on? Because I don't get headaches. Some people get them all the time, so it's nothing to them. Well, I don't get them. So I'm trying to figure out why I've got these headaches. So finally, I went to the doctor, and y'all know I don't like going. I went to the doctor, and he said, you know what? I said, I keep getting these headaches, and they won't go away. Well, anyway, it came to the place where they said they did this X-ray, make sure you know nothing going on. Did an X-ray on my head, and then he says, no, there's nothing going on, there. He said, well, I'm gonna ask you a question. He said, how do you sleep? I said, I don't sleep that good. He says, that's probably the reason why I get headaches. He said, your brain got to shut down so many hours per day. Your brain needs to shut down so it can get that right nutrients, that fluid that goes back into your brain. You shut it down so, while it's down, it can feed, the right, the right juice back to your brain. Y'all know the name of it, right? And it goes back in so that, you can start fresh the next day. I said, oh, okay. So my brain ain't shutting down long enough because I'm not sleeping well. So he said, well, let me give you some sleeping pills. I said, okay. So I took the sleeping pills, and I was sleeping a little bit better. And so then I get a call from the same doctor. He said, look, I looked at your MRI. He said, and I noticed you got something going on with your neck. I said, my neck? He said, yeah, I want you to go see this neurologist, And I said, okay, I went to see the neurologist. And the neurologist says to me, hey, he said, how you doing today? I said, I'm doing fine. He said, now, can you comb your own hair? I said, oh, sure. He says, you shower, take care of yourself. I said, sure. He said, you can fasten your buttons. I said, He said, you can do, take care of yourself, right? I said, yeah. He asked me question by question. Every time I asked this man, what's wrong with him? I can do all this stuff, right? He says, okay. He says, well, let me show you something. And he took me out the room, and he took me into a room where my MRI was, the image. And he said, look at this. This is your neck. I said, okay. You see all this black right there? I said, sure. He said, that's where your bone is crushing against your spinal cord. He said, based on this X-ray, you should be doing none of the things I asked you. He said, when I walked I looked at your X-ray, your image, your MRI. And based on that, I was expected to come in and see somebody in a wheelchair, paralyzed. He said, because your X-ray says you're supposed to be paralyzed because this has already crushed your nerves that keeps you mobile. I walk into the room and I see you sitting there looking at me and talking to me and telling me you can do all the things that you should not be able to do based on my image. And I'm looking at him like, okay. He says, so what I got to do is get you into surgery ASAP. I said, really? He said, I got to get that bone off. He said, the damage it already has done, I can't reverse that. But I'm trying to get it so you won't have no more damage. And everything that you're doing today, I want you to be able to do that. And I said, really? He said, yeah. I said, so how soon? He said, I want you in there yesterday. But if I can get you tomorrow, I said, good gracious. I'm and I'm a type of person, y'all pray for me. You can't tell me, if I go to the dentist to get my teeth clean, you ain't going in there and pulling nothing. Because that is not what I came for. My mind ain't geared for it. And I ain't wired that way. You got to give me time to focus on what you're trying to do. So I said, well, give me time to talk to my family and get them prepared. Because, I just can't have no surgery tomorrow. I got children, I got to get things together. He said, okay. So it was on a Tuesday I went in. So I said, well, he said, how about Thursday? I said, good gracious, he's serious. I said, let's go with Thursday. So anyway, excuse me. I went in that Thursday, had the operation. And on the operation, I think I told you this before. I done something that, again, he didn't expect me to be able to do. I was talking. He said, you should be able to talk. He said, I'm telling you, I done put this thing in your throat, and I still have a scar. You can't even see it. I'm trying to tell you this. Sometimes you are in a place that nobody has even paid attention to the fact, but that something's going on. You got a headache. Nobody else know it. They can't feel it. But there's something going on. And when you do, you must do something about what you know. Even though you may be operating in autopilot, even though you may be just merely existing, and you are, you got to do something. Because if you don't, you will eventually crash. You will fall apart. And everybody around, I never knew. I didn't suspect. Well, he was fine yesterday. What she was doing, I don't understand. Why didn't they talk to me? How come, you hear it all the time, right? And you got people around you saying the same thing about you because they don't know. So I'm saying this to you today. If you know, and you do, that you're merely existing because you got so much going on, take yourself some moments to be able, to be able to get your mind right. You gotta get it now. What I do, this is me. I goes to the park. Oh, I turn my music on and I might dance for a whole hour. And say, what? Yep. I might dance for a whole hour. The other day I went to the park, had my music in my ear, and I danced my whole walk. I danced the whole time. I was exercising, I was dancing, and I walked. And I think it was like a mile and some change. And the whole time, that's what I was doing. Walking that park. Because I knew I had some things I need to release. And that's how I release. Now, everybody got their own thing. Sometimes I sing. Sometimes I go up and I'll sing. Because I'm trying to release something. People may not know what you're going through. They may not even know what you're doing. But I got a daughter. She says she'll go and start baking. She'll bake cupcakes, cakes, cookies. She'll do all, but that's her way of being, her therapeutical way of getting through whatever it is. Whatever it is you need to do that. Do that for you. Because everybody don't know what you're going through. They don't know what you're feeling. They don't know what you're experiencing. All they know is you're their rock. You are their rock. You're the one they depend on. You're the one they know is going to get them through and help them be able to make it for their tomorrow. Meanwhile, you're needing somebody too. But if you can't find that special somebody, you don't have a brother, a sister, a good friend, a parent, a child that you can go to, or spiritual leader. If you don't have somebody you feel comfortable enough to just pour that into, because I had to stop pouring into people. I want to share sometime when things are going on, but I had to stop pouring into people when I was hurting, because when I pour, because I carry so much, because everybody got their own weight they can carry, right? Well, I can carry a whole lot more than most people can. I'm not saying that, about nobody different. I'm just saying, I know I do. I carry a lot of people's whatever. So when I'm carrying this stuff and I try to share with somebody things that I am carrying, I did that one time and I had a husband and a wife stand before me. And while I'm trying to tell them what I was hurting from, I was hurting. And I was trying to tell them why I was hurting. They fell to the floor and cried so hard. And I wouldn't even finish. I was just in the beginning of telling them my pain. And I saw them drop to the floor and begin to cry. A husband and a wife. I'm talking about purely mature grown folks. They could not take my pain. They both fell to the floor and began to cry. And I looked at them and I picked them off that floor. And I had to pray with them and get them back where they need to be. And I promised myself then I would never, ever pour into somebody else again my pains. Because I don't want nobody to ever hurt like I was hurting. And that is love to me. That was love. And I never done it ever again. Ever. And that's been probably over 20-some years ago. I've never done it ever again. You might get bits and pieces, but you'll never know the pains or the weight that I must carry. And the things I may be going through, the things that are attacking my life, you will never know. Because I know one thing, that I would never put on somebody else. So that's me. That's me. But I'm saying that, but I've learned how to get rid of it. So I'm not operating in autopilot for a long time. When I realize I'm operating it, I find me a way to get away from people. From my family, my friends, I get away from everybody. So I can now get myself together. Because I know, just as sure as I do, I got people in my inbox. I got people on the phone. I got texts coming. Somebody needs me and I need to be ready. And I can't be ready if I'm in autopilot hollering, Mayday, Mayday. So I hope that you heard something from me today. I hope you also, felt something about yourself or maybe somebody you love. And you say, I've been noticing this about a certain person, and I want to be there for them. You want to be their rock. You want to be able to tell them, poor, you can tell me this, There's no one, I don't think there's anyone for me that I can find that would be, what's the word I want to use? That would be strong enough to say they can sit by my foot, by my side, on my shoulder, and say to me, tell me how you feel. And I can share that and know they're going to be okay. Now, that's just me. And you might say, girl, who you think you is? Hon, I know who I am. I know who I am. I knows me. Trust this. I knows me. And I know what I sustain. I know this. And I never try to elevate myself as being better than anybody. So please, if you got that, if you got that little move, you said, she think, no, never. I am humbly telling you, I never think myself highly or higher than anyone else. Ever. Ever. So that's not what I'm saying. I'm just saying things that I know I have to deal with sometimes. I would never put on somebody because I know it would. If I told my children what I was feeling sometime, they would be worried about me. They want to sit on top of me and watch me because Mom, I didn't know, So I don't tell them because I don't want them in my house all day. I need to breathe. I like being able to walk through my house and not worry about trying to put on no smile or whatever because I'm dealing with something. I'm trying to go through something. Something is coming against me or coming to me or coming through me, and I need to deal with that. And I don't want you in my way. So there's some things I just do differently. But that's for me. Again, that is for me. Please don't say, I got to do like, no, you don't. Do you. But I'm just letting you know, to be able to release yourself from things if you feel like you're in autopilot. That's all. And I was just unctioned to give this out today. I was in there trying to get myself together. I'm getting ready to hit the store. But before I hit the store, I had to put this out. Because if it's hit me, I know it's somebody else that's feeling what I'm feeling. And there's somebody else that knows what I know. And somebody else needs what I got. And that's all I'm trying to do is put a nugget out there and hopefully bless you. Because you too have blessed me just by listening. Thank you. Again, this is Jenny Oya with Nuggets and Things. Hoping you enjoyed, hoping you received. And if you have not said it's for you, maybe it's for someone you know, just share that then, okay? Have a fabulous day. Let your light so ever shine. I mean, shine it high and shine it bright. Be blessed. Be awesome.